I'm super high on the Vikings, and I see that's the team that you wanted to talk about today. And every single fantasy draft, I've done 4. I've drafted 5 and 7. I've got Justin Jefferson every time. I don't know what these people are thinking, Sam, but the Vikings offense is going to be booming this year. Tell me I'm correct.
You are correct. Now, full disclosure, I did have Minnesota last year to win the division. I was really excited.
Okay.
I jumped on it when we thought Aaron Rodgers was going to retire and roll off into the sunset, and then he came back, and I'm like, oh, what have I done? But the thing about this week 1 spot is that Rodgers has lost, obviously, his best weapon in Devontae Adams. There are some issues on the offensive line, and Minnesota just looks to be a juggernaut on D. This might be the best defense they've had since they went to the NFC Championship and eventually lost to Philly. I mean, Danielle Hunter is back. They brought in some beef on the D-line. So you compare that D-line with the questions about Green Bay's O-line and receiving core, I think Minnesota wins the game. It's a great teaser piece as well. If you're into teasers, you can knock 2 or 1.5 up through the 3, up through the 7. I love that spot, but I am higher on this team because I've seen the clippings and I've heard the quotes from Justin Jefferson. He's like, bro, I've never been this wide open in my entire life. You know, Kevin O'Connell comes in from Los Angeles and brings a lot of the simplicities of the Sean McVay system where you operate with pace and space. And this offense, I know Kirk Cousins doesn't win big games, whatever. He's got Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, Matson, Irv Smith, KJ Osborne. Like, these guys are going to be split out. Cook's going to be in the slot. They're going to do so many things that they haven't done in Minnesota with Mike Zimmer and his 3 yards in a cloud of dust BS. This offense is going to be awesome. Kirk Cousins might throw for 5,000 yards this year. I'm higher on this team than I was before training camp because I'm listening to guys like Jefferson talk about how much freedom and how much opportunity they have, and that comes with a good play caller. So I agree with week 1. I think it's a team that could potentially be a contender for the NFC, and they're going to be a lot better than people think because coaching matters in the NFL.
I agree 100%. They were plus 300 to win the NFC North earlier in the season. That's down to plus 225. They're now a favorite to make the playoffs, and all that upside comes from, upside comes from the unknown. It comes from changes, and when you get rid of Mike Zimmer, whose offensive play calling in terms of the analytics and everything has been in the Stone Age pretty much his entire career. Now you bring in Kevin O'Connell, who has just been with the Rams. The Rams were the team that threw the second most on first down in the NFL, behind only Tampa Bay. And that's pretty much the best indicator that you can get of being in 2021, 2022, of having a modern offense. So, yeah, I've been joking that the Vikings under Zimmer, they were kind of banging sticks together to create fire, and now they have modern appliances in their offense. They're going to use Justin Jefferson like Cooper Kupp. That's why he has more upside than any receiver in the league. There's a lot to like about the Vikings. At the same time, like you, Sammy, I've been betting on the Vikings to win that division, I think, for every year of Aaron Rodgers' career. So that's been a losing proposition. But I believe in the Vikings. The one thing is I question their depth a little bit, where if they start to get some injuries, then I think it will get a bit messy in ways that it might not for Green Bay, because Aaron Rodgers gives you such a higher floor than Kirk Cousins. But yeah, there's a huge amount of upside in the Vikings.
The Vikings played a ton of one-score games last year. I mean, they went 6-8 and they're 14 one-score games.
Every year.
You see, yeah, it is every year like that. It's like we know the offense is going to be good and great this year if healthy, but the defense is always the question with the Minnesota Vikings. So I mean, that's going to be interesting to see. I see it come. You said KJ Osborne, like that's a big guy for me, Sammy. I'm really high on KJ this year in fantasy. And I see some people commenting Irv Smith in the comment section. I traded a 4th-round dynasty pick for DK Metcalf this year, and that guy used that 4th-round pick on Irv Smith. So I definitely think I won that trade, but it's up for debate. Jay, who's your team that you're high on in the NFC this year?
San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, I'm not sure why people are viewing this team as, maybe in the second tier of the NFC beneath Tampa Bay, Green Bay, and the Rams. I think that this team has the potential to be just an absolute juggernaut. They're plus 1,000 to get the 1 seed. When we're talking about upside with Minnesota and having a new coach, well, nothing gives you upside like a new quarterback. And I think that Trey Lance has an MVP level ceiling. I don't think he's going to win the MVP, but that's not outside the realms of possibility. when you look at players who have won MVPs out of nowhere, which happens more than you would expect. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, these guys were all north of 30-1 to win MVP before they did in the preseason. And Trey Lance is in that zone as well. I don't think there's ever been a fresh quarterback who's in a better position to succeed than Trey Lance, where you have Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. You have Trent Williams, the best offensive lineman in the league. You have Kyle Shanahan, who's maybe the most creative play caller in the league. And you have a defense with a defensive line that can wreak havoc, spearheaded by Nick Bosa, and then an improved secondary, which really destroyed them last year, but should be much improved and healthier this year. So I think the Niners have as much upside as any team in the NFC. If I was looking at two teams that could come out of nowhere to win 14, 15 games, I would look at San Francisco and I would look at the Chargers. But yeah, I think that the Niners, the sky really is the limit. Jimmy Garoppolo, there were very few quarterbacks who threw the ball less through the air in terms of average depth of target than Garoppolo last year. Trey Lance gives this offense a deep dimension as well. So, look, there's a lot of things that can go wrong for the Niners, but there's so much that can go right. And with them re-signing Jimmy G as well, just raises their floor because now they're insulated against injury better than any team in the NFL.
Yeah. And you look at that 53-man roster. I mean, we've got the sheet up there. Tampa Bay, obviously, on the top line because they have Brady. Green Bay, number 2. The Rams, number 3. I think, honestly, the Niners have the best 53-man roster in this conference. Yep. Now, the reason the other 3 are shorter is because they have Brady, Rodgers, and the Rams just won the Super Bowl. They have Stafford and McVay. But I agree. I mean, 2 years ago, they go to the Super Bowl, should have won that Super Bowl. Last year, they go to the NFC Championship, should have won that game. So in the regular season, this team has just been so dominant because they control the line of scrimmage. They're great on the O-line. They're great on the D-line. They have solid coaching. To follow up what you said, Jay, they constantly put their quarterbacks in positions to succeed. So I like them a lot, like win total over, division, plus price. You know, you could definitely throw a flyer on them to win the championship or win the Super Bowl. But that's when you need potentially Trey Lance to outduel Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. And that's when I get a little nervous. Is it possible? Hell yeah. Of course it's possible. But I think I like them more small picture, more micro than macro. But we shall see. If this kid's better than we think, or he's as good as Jay thinks he is, then yes, they could definitely go to the Super Bowl. But I like them a lot, win total and to win the division.
Yeah, I think as long as they put Trey Lance in positions to succeed, give him the mobility, rollouts, let him be athletic and do what he does best. And he's a lot better at throwing the ball deeper than Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, he posted superior numbers, Jimmy G throwing deep. So I'm on that one too. Brandon Ayuk, Eli Mitchell, like, expecting big years from these guys.